All right, so we're all feeling it. Inflation, pain at the pump, pain at the grocery store, interest rate hikes by the Federal Reserve Bank. And for nonprofits, those impacts are there, but they even extend further because the cost of operating ministries is going up while the tension of how to create increases in your staff's pay while also wondering what kind of impacts you're going to have on your funding or your donations. Well, I always like to find the good and the bad. And I would say today I come to share with you that there is a silver lining in this storm, some really good things that are still happening. And that's that interest rates are increasing. So what does that mean? Well, as a nonprofit, you should have 3 to 6 months set aside for an emergency fund or your reserves, your operating reserves is typically what we like to call it. And that amount of money is like insurance, right? So you don't want to invest it in risky investments or the stock market where the values can change overnight. And chances are you've been keeping it in your bank account because you want to keep it liquid or accessible. And so the last thing I'd say is CD rates have been embarrassingly close to zero. So they haven't been worth it either. Well, times are changing, and now is a perfect time to talk to your bank about a CD. So let me tell you a few things. The average rates I'm seeing out there are 2% and climbing. So start watching and start those conversations. You want to choose a low risk bank, meaning one that is FDIC insured. Also, you may want to work with the bank you already have a relationship with, or those that are in your local communities are a good place to start. I definitely encourage you to spread it around. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. So don't put all your money in one basket either. Depending on how much you hold, $250,000 is the FDIC insurance limit. So if you have more than that to invest, I'd consider CDs at a couple of different banks. And then in addition to that, don't put all of the money on the same time horizon. So CDs typically come in 1 year variations, but you could also consider and get for a lower interest rate a 3 or maybe a 6 month so that you can sort of, they call it laddering, or maybe you think of it as staggering them, where you put $150,000 in a 6 month and then you put the other 100 in a full year, or vice versa. Just depending on the economic needs and the things you see in your organization, you would want to choose that. Let me also mention that in doing this, you need to refer to your nonprofit's bylaws or maybe a policies and procedures manual where you would find an investment policy. You want to make sure that you're honoring that policy and the expectations of approvals and board authorization for these investments. And thinking of boards, chances are you've got some great experts sitting around your table. And this is a wonderful opportunity to engage those board members in a discussion about what to do with your extra cash and how it might be invested in something that's liquid, something that's low risk, and yield is definitely the last priority, but you want to try to get the best you can. And looks like 2% is in our future, maybe more. Wishing you the best. Hope you can turn some of your cash operating reserves into some extra interest income to help fund your mission.